mean, Trump's character.
Well, now I got to kick you because you just got a flag for bullying. All right, we're going to move on to the next guest. Guys, we've been live for an hour and 20 minutes. I'm already worn out. I'm not going to lie, guys. I am already worn out. I am already worn out, my friends. I'm already worn out. I don't know what's going on in the air today. These Trump supporters today are nuts. These Trump supporters are nuts. Wow, we are going on a marathon with like the craziest Trump supporters of all time today. It's been back to back to back crazies. God, the things I'll do for you guys. This is definitely it. This is definitely difficult, let me tell you. We're going to go to get that next guest, Colin, loaded up in here. Hop in that queue if you support Trump. Let's go to get that next guest connected literally right now, as well as Philip. Thank you so much for the $25 over on Venmo.
Well, hello there.
What's up, man?
Hey.
Give me a second. Philip with the $25 says, "Oh, Dean, I love it when you could actually hear the MAGA brain gears grind to a halt. Tim, dude, had to take 5 minutes and educate yourself before embarrassing yourself." Well, I appreciate you for the $25, Philip, and it is satisfying to hear their brains come to a halt. I can't agree. Nadia, thank you for the galaxy as well. For everyone hanging out with us on TikTok and YouTube, show some love to Philip down below in that chat. As well as Derek, thank you for the $10 on $10 on Venmo. Derek says, "I work a blue-collar job and I'm surrounded by MAGA. Your debates really help me feel like I'm not ganged up on. Much love, Dean." I know how it feels, Derek. I live in a 75% Republican town. Also, if you want to support me, you can find my Venmo, my PayPal, and the link tree in my bio on TikTok or in that pin message on YT. 100% of those proceeds go to me compared to like 33% on TikTok. And you could add any and all messages and I'll read them off on live, and it greatly supports me and what we do here. Anyways, Colin, what's up? Are you MAGA?
Yes.
Okay, can you disconnect any and all Bluetooth devices, headphones, headsets, earbuds, AirPods that you have plugged in?
Hear me now?
Much better, man. Take it away. Why do you support Trump?
All right. So I support Trump because I think that that it doesn't matter as much what political leader you have in office. I had a couple questions for you because I know.
Wait, you're saying that you support Trump as president because it doesn't matter who our president is? I very hardly disagree. I think that the lives of the 10 million people that are losing access to healthcare in America today, directly consequential of Donald Trump's policy, matter.
No, look, I really care about the content that you put out there and stuff like that. And I think that there's obviously good political officers that could be in office. The reason why I wanted to talk to you was to make sure that you're a reliable guy. Now, okay, it's a very difficult climate for politics these days. There's a lot of different people that are saying a lot of different things, influential. You have Charlie Kirk, you have Ben Shapiro, but you tend to go through this phase of good cop, bad cop, where you have people that end up becoming very influential and that start like preaching their politics and stuff like that. And eventually, even though they start off from good grounds, they end up getting paid off and end up just like sucking up to whatever ideology came from. Like,
do you think I'm
I don't
paid?
know. I don't know. Yeah, I just want to make sure that you're a reliable guy. I honestly really look up to you. I think like you're really cool. You have good points. You're interesting. I just want to make sure, hey.
Listen. The only people I'm paid by are those that voluntarily support me on Venmo and PayPal.
Okay. And so, like, where do you, so you keep talking about it. You're always like, oh, Kamala this, Kamala that. I just want your stance on, like, well, what do you think?
We're going to move on to the next guest just because we're looking to debate people on why they support Trump. Everyone, give us a minute. We got Here Comes the Sun 200 loading in right now. As well as Tamir, thank you for the $5 on, $15 over on PayPal. Show some love to Tamir down below. Thank you so much. Tamir says, point number 1, you were 100% invited to the cookout. Thank you for the love, Tamir. Show some love to Tamir down below. As well as Mark, thank you for the $17 on PayPal. Mark says, have a great stream. I hope, I wish you some quality debates. Let's hope. Yeah, I don't know if we'll see that, but thank you for the love nonetheless, Mark. That is incredibly kind of you. Let's get 200 Mark W's. And then Molly with a 10 saying, a late birthday shot on me. Thank you for trying to educate the ignorant. Thank you, Molly. Let's get 100 Molly W's, as well as 100 Igna W's. That is INGA with the $10 on Vimeo saying, as always for the fake job. Let's go, W fake job. Allison with the $10 saying, Kirk is coming to Liberty University in October. Please come, please. What state is Liberty University in, Allison? But thank you for the 10. As well as Condra with a 12. Thank you so much. Condra says, you are a saint. Thank you so much for the love, Condra. It's good to see you again. Condra, you're always hanging out with us in here. Thank you so much for your kindness. Show some love to Condra down below in that comment section while we're looking for that next Trump supporter to come up here and have a debate with us. Thank you guys so much for the love. Moving on. What's up? Do you support Trump?
Hi, yeah, I do.
Awesome. How old are you?
46.
46, and what time is it?
I'm not American. I'm UK.
All right, no worries. I'm not going to ban you because my rules aren't up on screen, but we are only specifically looking to talk to American adults that support Trump. Keep that in mind when you hop in that queue, everyone. Keep that in mind when you hop in the queue. We're going to move on to the next guest. Here we go. Hi, do you support Trump? I don't think they do. A good day. Good day. Good day. We're going to go ahead and move on to the next guest, Tatum. Also, hey, if you are a MAGA woman watching right now and you want to come up and debate me, put MAGA in that comment section with your age and we'll get you up here. We've been talking to men all day. Let's try to get a woman up here. What's up, Tatum? Do you support Trump? Tatum's not here either. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. Make sure we're in that queue that we are aware and present. Put a Trump with your age in that comment section if you're a MAGA woman, okay? Do we have a single MAGA woman in here out of the 12,000 people watching? Let me know. Seriously, let me know down below in that comment section. Let me know down below. There's honestly not too many people like chatting right now. There's not too many people hanging out with us down below. Okay. None. There's literally none. There's literally no one. There's no one. There's no Trump supporting gals in the live today. How crazy. Let's go to move on to the next guest. We're going to go to get them pulled up here right now. Hey, Kirby, thank you so much for the $7 on PayPal. But Kirby says, would you consider a prompt, quote unquote, how Trump is showing signs of a dictator or something like that? You know what? I have been considering like slightly different variations of what we already talk about. Similar to that. That's a good idea. What's up? Do you support Trump? Anonymous
I
Zoom?
do.
How old are you?
I'm 19.
You're 19. What year were you born in, my friend?
2006.
2006. Perfect. Let me thank two people. First and foremost, Between Realms. Thank you for the $25 donation over on PayPal. I appreciate you for your contribution. Realms says, critical thinking rocks. Continue doing what you're doing. Thank you. Let's get 250 Realms W's alongside 100 Megan W's with a $10 saying, me and my dad are tuning in. Please come to MN when Charlie Kirk is here. Unfortunately, Megan, I don't know if I'll be able to make my way up there. Best of luck, though. But thank you for the $10 and take it away, Anonymous Zoom. Why are you MAGA?
Yeah, I would say, I guess immigration. That's a good point, right?
I think his immigration policy is some of his worst. Why don't we start with mass deportation? Name one materially positive outcome of mass deportation on this country.
Oh no, I don't. So I'm not talking about mass deportation. I'm talking about specifically the border.
Like reducing
Border
undocumented
security.
entry? Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, first and foremost, the mass deportation is like the big immigration policy we've seen from the administration. So if you don't support that, I don't see how you could support his immigration policy as a whole. I'll entertain the concept nonetheless. What good border policy has Trump implemented?
He did the executive order on his first day. That was pretty good.
What did it do?
He, like the specifics of it, you mean?
Yeah.
Shit, I have to look it up, but I know that he made it more secure by adding, I think, more border agents. He also just cut down the crossings as well, and he reduced the encounters.
Well, the way I think that he significantly reduced the crossing is by scaring their entry away by, as I told the last guest, violating both the human and constitutional rights of undocumented immigrants that are already in this country, which I'd say is a bad thing.
Wait, just give me 1 second. I gotta connect something.
What do you got to connect?
Just my headphones. Hold on.
If you talk to me without him, I swear to God, you'll sound about 1 billion times more clear.
Do I sound good?
Yeah.
Still?
Yes, you sound great.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Yeah, so, I mean, hold on. I need to look up his executive order. Like, you want me to show you what specific things he did to
Can you respond to my
increase the
last
security?
point, though? I said I think what it's been driving a massive reduction in undocumented entry was those two things that I just pointed out. Could you respond to that?
What was it? You said that he was scaring them away, right?
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
By violating both the human and constitutional rights that are of those that are already in the country.
Are you talking about, what's that dude's name? Like Garcia dude?
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the instances I'm talking about, for sure.
Was he some gang member or what exactly?
Okay. Well, first and foremost, even if he was, you'd still have
I'm just
constitutional
asking.
rights.
I'm just
And second of all, We don't have sufficient reason to conclude that. I do not believe.
Okay, I thought that he had tattoos, gang tattoos or something.
No.
No, you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, well, you can say that they may have done some bad things. I would probably agree with that, but
Right, and I
I
think
think
it's these
overall
bad
it's
things that
pretty
has
good.
reduced undocumented entry. And my reason for that would be is that we haven't just seen a reduction in undocumented entry. We've also seen a reduction in tourism, travel for business and leisure, and overall, traveling to America has just been a lot less appealing because of the human and constitutional rights violations of immigrants in the country. Right? I mean, I think now we are actually on the UN Rights Watch because of what Donald Trump has been doing to Venezuelan immigrants. He's been deporting without due process, having Abrego Garcia beaten and tortured, propping up Alligator Alcatraz in 8 days where they were being served one meal a day with maggots in it, but then a judge ruled last month that it had to be shut down. Right? This is what is reducing the entry, and that's very bad.
Well, the whole mass deportation thing, just to talk about that just real quick, he's not actually doing that. It's more just so him increasing border security, because the encounters were reduced.
He's actually doing a mass deportation. That is true. I
No,
mean,
he's not, dude. They literally stopped posting the deportation numbers.
My,
It's
my,
so low.
my friend, if you don't believe that he's trying to do a mass deportation, I'm going to remove you from the live because this is something that he campaigned on before he
Are
won
you
the election.
serious?
Yeah, I am serious
I
because
know
this
he
is
did.
something
Yeah, I
that he
know.
campaigned on before the election, and this has been something that he's talked about nearly every week since he won the election. And if you're on Donald Trump's email list, well, you would have got emails from him like I do, talking about how he wants to get every undocumented immigrant out of the country. This has been like one of the main things that he's ran on and been doing since the beginning of his term. Like under the big beautiful bill, they increase funding to ICE another $150 billion to hire more agents to do more deportations. If you go to Homeland Security's Twitter account, every single day they're posting these dystopian graphics trying to get young white guys to join their police force to deport more people.
No, I totally agree that he says the whole mass deportation thing. I'm not rejecting that, but I'm just saying that he's not actually doing it. That's all I'm saying.
Okay,
So
so you're
that's
just
why
saying that
that's why I
he's
support
failing
him for
at
the
the
border
so you're,
security.
so you're saying that he's failing at the goal that he set out, but even in failing with the numbers that he is achieving with his removals, this doesn't negate the fact that a lot of those have been illegal per the information that I've already shared with you that you so quite frankly ignored.
Okay, so what? You care about the Constitution or something?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so then what? Do you care about free speech?
I do. I do. And Donald Trump actually infringed upon your free speech.
Interesting.
When a week ago he attempted to ban burning of the American flag, even though SCOTUS case upheld in the late 80s, that was protected under symbolic speech per the First Amendment. How do you feel about Donald Trump infringing upon your free speech? The better question would be for me to ask you that. Do you care about the Constitution, and do you care about free speech?
No, I don't really care about the Constitution. Because really, you look at the founding of America, it was just a bunch of. It's just vastly different to what it is today. You're really gonna say that the First Amendment was written for
Oh my
non-whites or
goodness.
something?
What?
Because they were literal slave owners, dude. And you're saying they wrote the First Amendment for non-whites? Like that's just not true. So that's why I'm not for the Constitution. It's just incredibly racist.
Oh, you think that the Constitution is racist?
Well, yeah, the founding of it. Like, you don't think it was exclusionary?
Of course, it was incredibly exclusionary. But I have a
Exactly,
question.
so
What
if
are
you
the
don't care about the
13th, 14th,
Constitution.
and 15th Amendments?
The abolition of slavery?
The ones to prevent said exclusion. The reason why I care about the
Okay, but
Constitution today
wasn't founded
is
on
because
that,
it
though.
guarantees us natural rights. And per the text of the Constitution and its current interpretation, it attempts to do so in a non-exclusionary manner. Now, if there is any exclusion that's introduced via the Constitution, such as not protecting women's access to abortion under the Privacy Clause of the 14th, well, then what we need to do is either pass a new amendment or more congressional policy. But the Constitution as a whole is something that we should all care about. And not to mention that it is a living, breathing document that is alive today per the interpretation from SCOTUS and per Congress's ability to ratify and change it. Right? You should care
Well,
about the 19th
yeah.
Amendment giving women the right to vote. You should care about the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment, ending slavery, and legally mandating equality. You should care about these inalienable rights. Why don't you?
No, I think you're missing my point. What I'm saying is that if we can just change the Constitution, right? If we can just take something like the First Amendment and then we can just drastically change it to what the founders originally intended, then the Constitution is kind of arbitrary.
What interpretation of the Constitution do we operate off of? The founders or the Supreme Court?
The Supreme Court.
There you go.
Right now, yeah, the Supreme Court.
There you go.
No, what
my
I'm
friend.
saying is that, yeah, I know, but if you're like, do you really think that when they were writing the First Amendment, they wanted to have like non-white, like specifically black people, the black slaves, to have the same rights as they did when they were running the amendments?
No, obviously
Initially,
they
I
didn't
mean.
want that, because in the initial
Exactly.
articles of the Constitution, they included the fugitive slave clause, which then legally mandated you to return escaped slaves. So obviously the Constitution at its conception was an incredibly racist, bigoted document. However, because of the changes that we've seen through the amendments through Congress, new federal policy, and of course interpretations from SCOTUS, I believe that the Constitution is incredibly has made great strides towards more equality for everyone. Right, such as the Third Amendment of the 14th Amendment.
Sure.
The third section of the 14th guaranteeing equal protections. The 19th Amendment giving women the right to vote. Or the 13th, 14th, and 15th ending slavery.
Well, again, you're kind of missing my point here. What I'm saying is that you always talk about the Constitution and how you care about it, and you're like, oh, well, it's the Constitution, the First Amendment, and it's like, okay, well, when we look at the Constitution, it's always changing. And when you say that you care about the Constitution, what you mean is that you care about your Constitution and what you personally agree with. So if the Supreme Court, because you think that they're the authority, if the Supreme Court just suddenly decided that, I don't know, we're going to repeal like the 19th or just anything, right? Something that you don't agree with, you will disagree with that and you will say, no, that's wrong. That's my point. So that's why I don't say, oh yeah, I care about the Constitution or my constitutionalist. Like, I don't give a shit about that.
The Constitution guarantees things that you care about. Like, for instance, do you personally care about like a right to vote inside of a functioning democracy for everybody?
No, I don't think everyone should vote.
Wait, so like,
I don't think
wait, do you like care specifically about women's right to vote? Like, would you care about us like taking away women's right to vote, only allowing men to vote?
I don't think that it would be like a good idea to just make only men vote.
So would that be bad? Okay,
Because
well,
it
guess
has
what?
to
You
be
should care
specific
about
people.
then specifically. You should care about the 19th Amendment of the Constitution because it prevents that. So even
No, I'm not even talking.
yes, you should, because what it is doing, it is acting.
Well, you're not letting me finish.
It is so. What the Constitution would be doing here, it would be preventing some like grave immoral thing that you think is gravely immoral, right? So this is why you should care for.
That's
it.
just
It's about
your
the 19th
opinion.
Amendment.
That's
No,
just your.
This is actually
That's
your
just your own
opinion.
subjective opinion.
This would actually be your subjective opinion. I asked you if it would be wrong if only men could vote, and you said yes.
Well, you asked me if it was wrong. Okay.
Right, and then I
My bad,
demonstrated
I
to you,
didn't hear you
right,
right.
how the
But-
19th Amendment would like would
Well, could I
stop
answer that?
from potentially occurring, meaning that you should care about it.
Yeah, if I could answer that, I only think that certain people should actually vote. I don't think that the average person should be voting.
You don't think that the average American should be voting?
No, do you? You think that the average American is smart and they're very well informative and all these things like.
I definitely don't think that you're smart or well informed. Does that mean that you shouldn't be voting?
Me? Shit, I mean, in principle, low-key, I probably shouldn't vote, yeah. My right should be
Jesus
taken
Christ.
away, but...
And then also I have another question for you. So you said that you care about slavery and racism, yeah?
I mean, I don't know if I said those words.
Yeah,
I don't think I said those words.
You said that you don't care about the Constitution because you think the founders of the Constitution intended it to be incredibly racist. One of the very obvious implications.
No, I'm just
is
saying
that
I
you
don't
care about slavery and racism.
No.
And wait. If you don't say those words,
Okay.
hello, wait, what the fuck is going on? I'm so sorry. Why? I just got like mental rotted and I just went into like debate bro mode. Slow down. Do
Dude, you
you or
gotta
do you
stop
not care
interrupting me,
about
man.
slavery and racism?
I don't think that we should have slavery. Yeah, sure.
So you think that slavery is bad? You think that racism is bad?
Well, by racism, you just mean hatred of racial groups. Yeah, sure. I think that's bad. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Right. So point number one, I can't believe I got
Are you
to
talking about race
concede that-
realism, or
Point number
when you say
one-
racism, you're talking about?
Point number one, I think it's absolutely hilarious that I got you to concede that you shouldn't be able to vote. And point number two, now that you've agreed that slavery and racism is bad, how do you feel about Donald Trump going to the Smithsonian and getting them to take out a lot of their content surrounding the history of slavery and racism in America, even suggesting on Truth Social that it's woke to think slavery was bad?
Wait, what did Trump do? You said he.
Yeah, he
didn't
posted.
even
He
hear
posted on
that.
Truth Social saying that it's that we need to take all the woke shit out of the Smithsonian, including shit about how slavery was bad.
Smithsonian?
Smithsonian.
Smithsonian. I've actually never heard of about that. What is Smithsonian?
It's a group of museums in Washington D.C.
Oh, okay. My bad. So why are they? Is it Black History? Is that what it is?
Yeah, one of the museums would be the African American History Museum, and he says that it's really woke and that we should stop talking about how slavery was bad.
Okay. Why would he say that? What was the context behind that?
Delusion.
Okay, see, that's why then. See, Trump is an old man. He says a lot of things. So, that's why I don't take anything, all the things he says seriously.
Well, you should take this seriously because he's a president.
And it's not like he can do anything about it, dude. I mean, what is he gonna do?
It's not like he could do anything about
He
it.
just says stuff. Bro, he got his assistant
I have a question.
typing
How
stuff
many
for him.
branches of government are there?
3:
What are they?
judicial, executive, and legislative.
Okay, and what is election day in America?
What?
What is election day in America? When did you vote for Trump?
Oh, it was on 6th of November.
Okay. The only reason I asked those questions is because you said you didn't know what the Smithsonianism is. Smithsonian Museum.
I don't go outside. I'm an incel, so I don't go outside.
Right. Oh.
I'm like an
you're
antisocial
incel.
incel.
Also, something else I'd like to
Yeah.
bring up here. So Donald Trump has praised the founders of the Constitution. In fact, his whole movement is Make America Great Again, referencing the foundation of this country. So earlier you were telling us that you thought that they were all bigoted racists, and that's why you don't like the document that they made of the Constitution. But Donald Trump has praised them. So you think that Donald Trump has praised bigoted racists? Then how could you support him?
No, I think you keep missing my point. So I'll try to explain.
I'm going to need you to respond to
differently.
that point. No. You made that
Yeah,
point clear
I'll
that you think they
explain
were all
it.
just
I'll
like
explain it,
terrible
don't worry.
bigoted racists. Donald Trump has praised them, so why would you support him?
No, I'll explain it. Don't worry. My whole point with the Constitution was just that the people who wrote it, they were, slave owners. They did all these things, and it was kind of like an internal critique on your end that like you would view them as these racists, these bigots, these slave owners, these racists, and so like you don't care, and honestly, I don't care either. Like neither of us care. It's just that you pretend that you do. That's it.
Oh, so basically,
But
you're
I don't care
saying-
about the Constitution.
So basically, you're saying that you don't care that they were bigoted racists, that you don't view them that way.
No, I didn't. No,
So
dude, you're not
do you
listening.
view
Oh
them
my
that way?
God.
Do you view them that way? Do you view the founders
What,
of the
that they're-
Constitution as the bigoted racist slave owners they were?
Well, they were slave owners, were they not? Yeah.
Right. So you do. So Donald Trump has praised them. Why
They-
do you
they probably
support,
put the-
why do you
they
support
probably
Trump
had
if
some
he's
racist
praised
beliefs,
bigoted racist slave owners?
You talking about the founders, right?
Right.
Yeah, we can acknowledge that they may have done bad things, but they're also the founders, and they're very important to American history. So I don't think that we should destroy their statues or burn their documents or things like that. I think we should keep their
got it. So I'm in the
history alive.
So I'm in the wrong for valuing the Constitution as it would exist today because the people that originally drafted it in its first 10 amendments 200 years ago were slave owners. But Trump's not in the wrong for praising who they were 250 years ago today. Interesting. Very interesting.
I'm calling you out. I'm only calling you out on your hypocrisy. That's all I'm doing.
There's no
I'm just saying that
hypocrisy
you don't
here.
actually care about the Constitution.
There's no
No, 'cause you don't
hypocrisy here
actually care about the
whatsoever.
Constitution.
I do care about the Constitution as the Constitution would protect
You
what I
don't
deem
because
as
it's
natural
constantly
rights.
changing. Dude, it's constantly changing. And if the
The
Supreme Court
nature-
says something that
the-
you
the-
disagree
the
with,
nature
you would
of the-
disagree with it.
The nature of the Constitution changing doesn't reject or falsify the fact that I value the Constitution as the Constitution would protect inalienable natural rights. I could go over them if you'd like. Like, for instance, I think that the protections under the 14th Amendment to due process, right, is in a protection of a human right. I think that due process protects your human rights, because if you're not granted due process, then you're telling me that I could be sentenced to death for something that I didn't do, and there's no exploration of truth to determine that I did it, right? And so that constitutional right of due process helps prevent against that. And I very much so do value that.
All right. Anyways, well, you want to talk about a different topic? This is kind of boring now.
So now when I give you an explanation of why I value the Constitution, because it protects inalienable natural rights that I find important, not just for me, but for everybody in society as a whole, now you want to move on.
Well, you think it's all subjective. You're an atheist, right? So it's not some objective thing. When you say rights, that's not something that's true.
So now
Outside of
you're
the mind or
refuting my
something.
claim on the basis of my metaethical theory. Sounds like you've bowed out of the debate,
No.
my friend.
I don't really know philosophy. I don't like reading.
Well, I could tell. So do you want to respond
What is
to
that?
my argument?
Wait, what's that supposed to mean?
It means I could tell that you're incredibly uneducated, and you're incredibly pompous in the fact that you likely think that you're educated and think that you don't even need to do the reading to begin with, and that's been made clear this whole time. So now that I made that clear, now
That's
that
a
I've clarified
projection.
on
I
your
never
question-
said that.
Well, it
I'm
wasn't-
actually a very humble person. I think.
Well, see, the thing is I never accused you of saying that. I think that we could all infer this based upon the way that you've been engaging in this conversation.
You did. You just said it right now.
I didn't say that you've said this. I said that I've inferred this based upon the things that you've said. There's a big difference there. But once again, I gave you an argument to demonstrate why I care about the Constitution, and you should too, as the Constitution would protect inalienable and natural rights, and then you just merely responded to that by saying that metaethically I'm a subjectivist. So what does my metaethical framework have to do with an argument normatively insofar as why I do value the Constitution?
Well, you're talking about rights. I mean, again, you should probably debate Andrew Wilson on this, but you keep dodging him, even though he offered $10,000.
Okay.
But
so now you're saying,
yeah,
so
you
now,
believe
so,
like in
so
these
now,
rights.
wait. So now you're saying,
Oh, I'm being interrupted
so
again.
now you're saying that I'm dodging Andrew Wilson. So what is your accusation that I'm apparently dodging
Yeah,
Andrew Wilson have
tweet-
to do with your response
Sure,
to my
yeah, tweet him
argument
right now.
insofar
Tweet
as
him right
why
now.
the Constitution is valuable, why the Constitution is valuable to me and why it should be valuable to you too? It kind of sounds like you've
Dude,
been put
tag
in a
him right now
corner
on
where
Twitter.
you don't have a response.
$10,000. He offered 10. He offered 10 grand.
Yeah, so I'm gonna make it clear, man. I'm kind of like an
You don't
analog.
have your mute button.
I'm going to make it clear, man. I'm kind of like an analog computer here, input output. If you give an input that is a pivot or deflection away from the argument presented, I'm going to ignore it and then ask you again to attempt to respond. I understand that you don't have
Alright,
a
go ahead.
response because you've lost the debate and you're fucking stun locked by somebody with an IQ significantly higher than yours will ever be. But all that I'm just simply asking you to do, man, is to either bow out peacefully or at the bare minimum, stop annoying me with this bullshit. Okay? If you can't give a response to my position to object to your statement that we shouldn't care about the Constitution, just say that. Stop wasting my time and stop wasting the time of the 16,000 people watching this live. It's really fucking annoying, especially after the hour and a half of the other guests that we have had that have done the exact same thing. You, the guest before you, the guest before them, and the guest before them have all done the same shitty little small brain tactic of making a point, getting beat, and then not responding to the refutation, and instead talking about a billion other things. Oh, Dean gives a refutation to the guest's shitty position. Andrew Wilson. Dean gives a refutation to the guest's shitty position. Meta ethics. Stay on topic, give a response, or I'm going to move on to the next guest. Right? And by the way, Nicole on YouTube said condescending much. I hope that came off as condescending as possible.
Okay, so yeah, you said that you have a. Well, are you calling me dumb? You said you have a higher IQ than me. What's up with that?
All
You
right.
said it was significantly higher.
Right. So I just told you to give a very direct response to my argument. Did you give me a very direct
I'm
response to
trying.
my argument? No, you didn't. And for that reason, we'll go ahead and move on. Every single guest today, just absolutely impossible. Absolutely impossible. Every single guest today, same old, same old. It is the same script with every single Trump supporter. Same script every single time, folks. Watch. I bet this next guest will do it too. What's up? Do you support Trump? Nope, the red. Dude, the red frog. Hop back in that queue. Sorry, man. You took a second to answer, so I kicked you. If you rejoin the queue right now, I'll get you right back up here. If you rejoin right now, I'll get you right back up here, the red frog. While we're waiting on the red frog to hop back in that queue, guys, make sure that we're double tapping and make sure that you're sharing out this live with a handful of friends. And if you want to support me and help pay for my therapy after all of the crazy guests today that just are refusing to debate, you can find my Venmo, my PayPal, and the link tree in my bio on TikTok or in that pin message over on YT. We're going to go and give the red frog around 5 seconds here to hop back in that queue. Red frog, if you could hear me, literally just click that same button you did to get in the queue in the first place. We're going to go to get that next guest up in here right now. I'm going to take one last look for the red frog. I don't see them back in the queue. That is highly unfortunate. Let's go to get that next guest connected right now. While they are connecting, hey, Natalie, thank you so much for the $20 over on Venmo. Thank you so much, Natalie. Natalie with the $20. Let me go and load it up. While we're loading that up, welcome in. What's going on? Do you support Trump heritage?
Yeah, brother, I sure as fuck do.
All right. Could you disconnect any Bluetooth devices
Fucking
you got
cuck.
Okay, weird. Could you disconnect any all Bluetooth devices you have connected to your phone?
I don't have any Bluetooth devices connected to my goddamn phone, you dumb phony.
Okay, all right. Let me think Natalie real quick. Natalie with
What
a
are you being up here being all gay and shit?
Are you hitting on me?
What?
These are debates. These are political debates. Okay?
First to me,
political
loses
debates.
the debate, son.
Okay, so
What are you trying to debate?
why you support Trump, but before we get into
I'm
that,
trying to figure out,
Yeah,
are
thank
you
you for the galaxy.
transitioning from male to female or female to male? You seem stuck in the middle.
Okay. All right. Some say that I can look androgynous. Okay.
Yeah, you look stupid as shit, son.
Well, I'm not.
I guess we
And
found
I
some
could prove that
common ground. We can
by
both agree to
debating
that.
you. Are you going to debate or not?
Yeah.
Natalie, thank you so much for the $20 over on Venmo. Natalie with the $20 says not.
Common
Wait, 1 second,
ground,
sure. I'm
son.
thanking my donors. If you wouldn't mind just giving me a second. Natalie with the $20 says not sure who's telling you to be nicer. I love this version. A few of my favorite for the night. Every time, quote unquote, a month is 30 days. Do the math. I don't like to read. Quote unquote, I could tell. You're stun locked by somebody with a significantly higher IQ. Bro, it's just because the guests today are like something else. Thank you for the $20, Natalie. Show some love to Natalie down below in that chat. As well as Michaela with the $15 saying thank you for always being supportive of women's rights. Watching your stream always makes my day. By the way, Liberty University's in Virginia. Thank you for letting me know. Show some love to Michaela and Natalie down below in that chat, as well as S with the $10 saying, would I ever debate your MAGA father? Yeah, sure. If he opts in the queue, I happily will. Show some love to Natalie S down below in that chat. In fact, Heritage, would you go ahead and thank Natalie like for a $25 donation real quick?
Sure, thanks for donating to this scum bucket. But at least we found common ground.
Good boy. Good boy. I have a couple other ones too. Hey, thank you so much, Gina, for the $10 over on PayPal. Gina with the $10 says, I've been having a shitty week at work, but always look forward to watching your lives when I get home. Well, I'm happy that you're here, Gina, and I hope that you're enjoying the stream. As well as Rose, thank you so much for the $50 super chat on YouTube. Rose, that is crazy. Thank you so much. That is so much money. Let's get 500 Rose W's down below in that chat. Rose says, I have a friend who supports Trump, and I was wondering, should I respect your opinion? Why or why not? Well, yeah, you shouldn't really respect an opinion that's like pro-Trump. That doesn't mean that you can't like respectfully talk to them about it. But you don't have to respect the opinion. Thank you for the love, Rose. As well as Dino, thank you so much for the $20 on Super Chat saying Color's family tree looks like a wreath. Thank you for the love, Dino. Can you thank Rose for the $50 donation and Dino with the $20 donation?
So, anyway, as we were talking, we can both agree that you look ambiguous, low T.
I probably have
we
significantly
agree on
higher
that.
testosterone than you.
Okay, well, I mean,
I listen.
I think
Maybe
you got that a little bit mixed up.
maybe I'll have to start boasting. Like the man metrics. The things that are important to the people on your sides of the aisle. Would you like to compare bicep circumference or bench?
Oh, I mean, come on, son. Do you even bench?
Yeah.
I said bench. I said bench, not bitch.
Yeah. No, I do bench. I do. What's your bench?
Okay, I'm guessing you're at about 114 on the bench.
What's yours?
235.
I unironically was benching 235 when I was 18. Still in high school. No, first year of freshman year of college. I don't know, man. Yeah, Low T Dean was hitting your max freshman year of college, freshly 18. Yeah. Get alpha'd. Get alpha'd. Yeah. We can move on to the next guest. Man, I'm sorry. That was really silly and elementary of me. That was very silly and elementary of me. We're gonna go ahead and move on to the next guest. What's up? Do you support Trump? No, they're not here. Let's go move on to the next guest. Oh goddamn! All right, let's go to get that next guest connected right now. We're gonna go to get Darkblade47 loaded up. He got alpha'd. Yeah, woo! Classic alpha male Dean. How about that? What's up? Do you support Trump? No, he's gone. All right. All right, guys, we're gonna look for that next Trump supporter. We got Bobby Lee Swagger connecting. What's up, you MAGA?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Quickly before we hop into the debate, I got a couple people to thank. Georgia, thank you so much for the $25 donation over on Venmo for the well-deserved therapy money. That is very kind of you, Georgia. I want to see 250 Georgia W's down below. That is GEORGIA, as well as Amanda with a $10 saying, Dean, you're not mean. Keep cooking these frauds. Let's go, Amanda. Thank you for the 10.
Georgia.
It's quite mean. Kaylee, thank you for the $20. Thank you so much for the love, Kaylee. And yeah, I'm going to be taking a look into that, Kaylee. But I will say, I doubt it'll end up happening. Thank you so much for the $20.
Kaylee.
Let's get 200 Kaylee W's down below. Just ignore the loser. As well as Emily and Philip, I appreciate you both for the $5 over at Venmo. Appreciate you guys so much. As well as Mark with the $20 over at PayPal.
Andrew Wilson.
One moment. Mark with the $20 over on PayPal. Mark with the $20 says, Dean, fold this guy like an envelope and mail him back to his wife, mother, sister, aunt, cousin. Thank you for the $20. That is incredibly kind of you.
Fake laughing is
Thank
weird.
you so much for the love. As well as a Rose with the $8 on PayPal and Madison with the $5 over on Venmo as well. Thank you guys so much for the love. Hey, all right. Do you support Trump?
Yeah, he's all right.
All right. Why do you support Trump?
I think he's pretty cool. I like his hair.
All right. Well, we're going to move on to somebody serious. Let's go and get that next guest connected into the live. Hop in that queue if you support Trump. We're going to get you connected. We got that next guest, Jeremy, loading into the stream right now, quite frankly. All right. Hop in that queue if you support Trump. We'll get you connected. We're looking for a pro-Trump American adult. What's up, Jeremy? Do you support Trump?
Yes.
Okay, how old are you? I don't even know why I asked how old he is. He's obviously underage. Moving on to the next guest. Here we go. We got Dr. Thunder connecting. Once again, if you want to support me, you could find my Venmo and my PayPal in the link tree in my bio on TikTok. You could even attach a message. I'll read it off on live. Kind of like Adolfo. There we go. Adolfo. Thank you so much for the $50 donation on PayPal, Adolfo. That is so kind of you. Thank you so much for the love. That is ADOLFO. Adolfo with a $50 donation says, hey, Dean, DACA recipient here. Love your TikTok lives. Hope you go on tour someday. You know what? I actually will be hitting a couple of college campuses, having some fun talking to Mr. Kirk Adolfo. Maybe I'll be at one in your area. But seriously, thank you so much for the $50. Thank you so much, Adolfo. Show some love to Adolfo down below. And Mr. Thunder, or I guess Dr. Thunder it is, I sent you an invite to unmute. What's up? Do you support Trump?
For the most part, not everything.
Okay, if you could go back in time. Oh, you have an echo. Could you disconnect any and all Bluetooth devices?
Yep.
There you go, my friend. Already better. So just to clarify, do you think that the country would be worse off today if Kamala Harris was elected? If you could go back in time to November, would you still vote for Trump?
My personal opinion, I would still want it to be Trump.
Okay. All right. So why do you support Trump as president?
A lot of my beliefs align with him. Not that anyone on the other side is inherently bad, but most of my beliefs align with being conservative.
Okay, like which of your beliefs aligns with Trump? Because a lot of like classically conservative beliefs don't. like having patriotism in the country and supporting the Constitution. He's violated it 5 times. Being fiscally conservative and reducing our debt. He's added the most to the debt out of any other president in modern American history. Protecting free speech. He violated your free speech last week. So, like, what Trump values do you believe in that he believes in?
Well, I think every president's going to have their cons, and they're going to break rules that they're not supposed to, and the other side's going to call it out every single time. But strong military, someone who's willing to take action.
Okay, strong military. I think that Biden was better for the military. He actually did shit for him, like the PACT Act, $800 million investment into the expansion of VA healthcare resources. Meanwhile, we have Trump over here defunding the VA by millions.
Yeah, I didn't say that Biden did a bad job.
Okay, I'm just simply demonstrating that, like, seemingly Kamala Harris, who served under Biden's campaign, has done more for veterans, more for the military than Trump.
I like him as a person better, not a lot of his personal decisions, which, yeah, most people should agree that he's made some bad choices, but most of us have as well.
You can't possibly like Trump as a person more than Kamala Harris. It's impossible. Kamala Harris is not
There
a
are parts
person
of
who's
him as a
perved on
person
kids.
that I do like.
Donald Trump has. Donald Trump as a person has been held liable for rape. Donald Trump as a person has been found guilty of 34 felonies. Donald Trump as a person has hit on his own daughter. Donald Trump as a person was personally really good friends with Epstein. Epstein even had a framed picture of them on his desk. Donald Trump as a person sent Epstein a letter with a picture of a naked woman with a statement, "May every day be a new wonderful secret." Donald Trump as a person boasted about sexually exploiting naked girls and women to Howard Stern in 2005. Donald Trump as a person is incredibly racist and tried to get people not to vote for Obama because he was black, after calling all black people lazy in the 90s and specifically not renting to black tenants in the 70s. Donald Trump as a person is also incredibly misogynistic, making statements along the lines of saying that the best thing that could ever happen to a woman is pregnancy, or saying that you could just grab a woman by the P word and not even ask first. Seemingly, Donald Trump as a person is not too good of a person, so why would you like him as a person?
Why do you think he was voted in as president?
Misinformation, COVID, propaganda.
Oh my gosh, the misinformation is terrible on both sides.
Okay, you asked me why he was voted in as a president. I told you. Can you please now respond to my refutation of your point, arguing that you should like him as a person?
Yeah. I don't like a lot of the things that he's done. I'm not going to debate that. That would be dumb. He's done some dumb stuff.
So why do you like him as a person?
I don't care about how he is personally, the decisions that he's made. I care about the decisions he makes for our country.
Yeah, who you are as a person influences the decisions that you make as a country. A good description of this would be that the fact that the role of serving as our president is a role of public service. I don't think he's capable of public service. I only think that he's capable of self-service, as I just think any man who would rape a woman just instrumentally lacks the necessary virtues to be capable of empathy for others.
There may be truth to that. I'm not going to tell you that there's not. I've never done a deep dive into the court cases and the stuff that you just mentioned. Yeah, those things are terrible. 100%. Don't disagree. I think he's a good leader. I think other world leaders have a respect for him, not necessarily because he's earned the respect, but because he will take action. And I can say that a lot of other presidents in the past have not. They have the appearance of being weak, that they won't take action, that they'll just roll over. And I'm happy to finally have a president that will stand up to some of these other world leaders where we've been kind of silent. And
why won't he stand up to Israel or Russia?
I don't know the answer to that. You'd have to ask him.
Right, exactly. I don't know, man. I think the idea that Donald Trump is just a stronger looking leader is going to be a 11th or 12th order consequence resulting from your support for him. So I think using that as an argument for your support for him, even though it's likely more so a consequence of your support, is quite circular. Maybe what I could ask is this. What is something that Donald Trump has done in the last 250 days of his presidency that has made you support him?
Taking action.
What action?
Drugs.
We can't really
healthcare.
say. Can't really just say DRUGS. It's just TikTok terms of service.
What's that?
You have to spell it out because of TikTok's terms of service. It's weird.
Oh,
I know.
okay. I didn't know that.
Right.
He's an arrogant man, 100%.
Let me respond to those two things. The first thing you brought up was DRUGS. I don't think he's taken too much action against that. 85% of those things that are brought into the country are brought in by citizens. Meanwhile, his supposed crackdown on them has been by reducing undocumented entries and cracking down on undocumented immigrants that are already in the country. But when a significant, vast majority of them are brought into the country and disseminated by citizens, his priorities just lay in the wrong place. Not to mention that because his mass deportation is centering all undocumented immigrants compared to just undocumented immigrants with prior criminal offenses of dissemination of DRUGS or violent criminal offenses, the overall deportation rates, specifically of undocumented immigrants that are committing bad crimes, is lower than what we saw under Biden. And you could actually get the data and resources to prove this yourself by going to ice.gov/statistics and then setting it on a monthly filter and then specifically filtering for removals of undocumented immigrants with prior criminal offenses. Now, to your second point about healthcare, he's really hurt healthcare. In fact, the big, beautiful bill increased the premiums for everybody on Medicaid by 75% per the CBO and kicked 10 million people off.
Do you think Harris would have done a better job with healthcare? That's a genuine question. I'm not.
Yes, absolutely.
Uh-huh.
Harris didn't want to
I'm
kick anybody
curious.
off of Medicaid. She didn't want to defund it to make the premiums more expensive. In fact, she ran on more healthcare policy to, one, save our government money by granting it a greater negotiating ability with private pharmaceutical companies to get the prices lower, to use the leverage of the monopoly they hold over the healthcare of like 75 million people. And point number two, she ran on policy to limit the most that any American citizen could pay out of pocket for private pharmaceuticals to $3,000 per year. That's objectively better than increasing the premiums for those that are on Medicaid, while then also kicking 10 million people off.
Yeah, I don't think any president's done very good with healthcare, and I think it's sad, and I think someone does need to figure it out. And I'm not saying Trump's the one to do it. I just want someone to do it. There are a lot of problems that no president has really solved, and they all make the promises and they don't keep them.
Well, the argument here is that I asked you to tell us a handful of things that he's done in the last 200 days that has made you support him. You said healthcare. That I demonstrated how the only things he's done to healthcare in the last 200 days has been to hurt it. Meanwhile, if Harris was elected, our public healthcare systems would be better off.
My job industry has gotten a lot better since he's been in office, and that's construction.
Before we move on to construction, could you respond to my claims about healthcare, about how he's hurt healthcare, and if Kamala Harris was elected, she would have helped healthcare?
I'm not dumb enough to debate specifics on very political things. I'll admit that. I work a lot. I don't do a ton of research into that stuff. My belief system more so aligns with the right than the left. I'm not anti
And why is that?
either side. I'm very big on freedom of speech, Second Amendment. I'm big on family. I don't really believe in teaching a lot of the LGBT stuff in school. Not that I'm anti or anything like that, but I don't think that's a place for it.
Okay, listen.
A lot of the beliefs
we'll talk
on
about
the
that.
left
So first and
that I don't
foremost,
really follow.
you said that you care about free speech. Donald Trump violated your freedom to speech last week when he attempted to ban burning of the American flag. SCOTUS ruled in the 80s that is expressly protected under your First Amendment rights.
Okay.
Okay, then about not
That's
teaching
what
about
those
LGBTQ rights
rights
in
are
school.
for.
Right.
I'm not ever going to say that I back everything he does, because I don't.
Okay, but
No-
he's
no
very
president-
specifically infringing upon the values that you're listing when I'm asking you why you support him. Like,
If
I
Harris
understand
was
you
president,
listen.
would
You
you
don't
support
you-
everything
you-
she does?
My argument isn't that you have to support everything Trump does, but my argument is if you're going to tell me that you support Trump because of a set of values, he at the bare minimum has to be serving to the better interest of those values. But when you tell me that you support him because you value free speech, but then he's actively infringing upon your free speech, it makes no goddamn sense to say that you support him if that's one of your values.
I support the right for free speech.
But the right is infringing upon your free speech. I don't know how to make this any more clear. The
He
left
doesn't
isn't
represent-
infringing upon your First Amendment rights.
He doesn't
The right
represent the
is
whole
infringing
right at all
upon
times.
your First Amendment rights. Trump today is infringing upon the First Amendment. Like, how does it get any more cognitively dissonant than this?
You're saying he 100% supports the right, and the right 100% supports everything he does at all times?
Wait, I'm saying Trump. Trump infringed
Right.
upon your First
I'm
Amendment
saying
rights.
I more align as a conservative, not necessarily him specifically.
So then you don't support him?
Most of the time, yes. All of the time, absolutely not.
But even
No,
in
I don't
alignment with your values,
support
why would
everything
Kamala
he
Harris
does.
be worse given that she wouldn't have infringed upon your First Amendment rights?
I'm not talking about a specific person. I'm talking about
We
what
are.
side I'm
We are
on,
talking
and I
about.
think
We're talking.
he
What does
is
it say? Can you read the sentence?
he was a candidate for the side that I more align with.
Oh, great. So it's actually not country over party, it's party over country. You're telling me that I could give you every single argument to demonstrate that in nearly all relevant senses, you and the country as a whole and the world as a whole would be significantly better off if Kamala Harris had won the election. But at the end of the day, you'll still never support that as you value your party over your country.
It depends on the situation. I don't like her either. I don't like a lot of things Trump personally has done. She annoys me. I don't support her.
Okay. So why was Kamala Harris worse than Trump?
Because of the party she represents.
Bro.
But
Okay.
I don't
Jesus
align myself.
Jesus fucking Christ. So it has nothing to do with the policy that she ran on? It has nothing to do with the policy that Trump ran on? It had nothing to do with who she was as a person? Let me ask you this question.
It has to do with all that.
Let me ask you this question. If Kamala Harris ran as a Republican and Trump ran as a Democrat, but their policy and character remained the same, who would you vote for?
It's a great question. I don't know. You vote for the side that you align with and the person who's representing that.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, dude. Bruh. Listen, that is such a bad way to think, okay? And I'm talking to that last guy because he was a Republican, but this also applies to Democrats. Like, if you're a Democrat watching this live, and you would respond, I don't know, if asked, if Trump ran as a Democrat and Kamala Harris ran as a Republican, who do you vote for? You'd be just as fucking silly as him, okay? Never put the party slogan above the country and the impact that the candidate would have on it. Dude, he's so gone. And honestly, like, he wasn't a part of the Trump cult. He was a part of the Republican cult, which is like something that we don't see as frequently anymore. Like, we don't see that too much. Now it's nowadays it's the Trump cult. But he's like one of like the old head, like just Republican, read down the ballot till I die type of people. You know, like he was even willing to like possibly throw Trump out the window if Trump didn't run as a Republican. What's up? Do you support Trump?
Yes, sir.
How old are you?
20.
Great. Let me thank 4 people here. First and foremost, Desiree. Thank you for the $15 over on Venmo. Thank you so much, Desiree. Desiree says my favorite is when you call them a good boy and mute them. You make my day. I reserve that only for very specific instances, but that last guest deserved it. Thank you for the love, Desiree. And then Gwendolyn with a 15 saying, hope you had a nice birthday, Dean. I did. Love listening to you. Thank you. Not all heroes wear capes. Wish you could debate my mom. If you get her up here on the live, I happily will. As well as Hannah with the $25 saying I've had a really shitty couple of days and ended up in hospital. Thank you for streaming and making my day better. Hannah, I am so happy that I can make your day better. Literally, you just put such a big smile on my face. Thank you, Hannah, Gwendolyn, and Desiree. Show some love to Hannah, Gwendolyn, and Desiree down below in that chat. If you're watching and you'd like to support me, you can find me on Venmo and PayPal through the link tree in my bio on TikTok, Venmo and PayPal through the pin message on the YT, where, of course, you could also support over on Super Chats. Now, Midwest Redneck, why do you support a wannabe dictator?
I mean, I don't support everything he does. I wish he was more far right.
You wish he was further to the right?
Further.
All right, so do you self-identify as a groyper, neo-Nazi, or racist?
No, I'm more on the Nick Fuentes right.
Let's see how good a Groiper, a Nazi, because that's what he is at playing the guitar.
I brought flowers to your door last night. To be fair, that's not very good audio equipment.
Listen, bruh. I'm going to keep it real with you. It's not even like the worst. That's not even the worst. I want you to undergo a reality check. Okay? I need you to give yourself a very much needed reality check. You're not cool, you're not edgy, and you're not hip for saying that you support a Nazi. Okay? Right?
He's not a Nazi.
He is definitionally speaking a neo-Nazi.
He doesn't support Israel. He doesn't support Palestine. He's what I would call a Christian nationalist.
I personally asked Fuentes if he would prefer Hitler to be our president, and he said yeah.
I mean, he was obviously trolling you and you fell for it.
Okay, it's obviously a troll until you see him throw the salute with yay and scream
Once
the N-word.
again, jokes.
Dude,
This rage bait.
At what point does it
You're
go from
falling
being
for the
jokes?
rage bait, dude.
At what point does it go from being jokes and rage bait to just truly the way that he feels?
When you guys stop being so sensitive and
Okay, right. Well, listen, I'm just gonna go ahead and kick that guy and repeat to everybody watching this live: you are not sensitive if you think that like it's wrong to say you're a white supremacist. You are not sensitive if you think that it is wrong to just spam the N-word hard R in reference to black people. You are not sensitive if you think it is wrong to parade and identify as a Nazi. Okay? You're not sensitive if you think those things. Okay? And honestly, like this attack that the right has launched on these common sense ideals by labeling you as a snowflake just because you're not a terrible person is embarrassing, right? And like at this point, we got to get to an area where we all can acknowledge that and we could fight back. Like it's about damn time that it is known. It is not sensitive to think it is wrong to support the genocide of 12 million people. It's common sense. And if we're sensitive for thinking that, well, I mean, then their favorite historical figures are also sensitive. What about Jesus? Jesus was such a sensitive snowflake, I guess. Welcome back, man. You were in here with us earlier. You support Trump, right?
Largely. I would agree.
Great, man. Well, I apologize for kicking you earlier. You responded a little bit after I asked the question.
Oh, man, I was on my way home from work, and I was backing in my spot and was like, gosh, damn it. Didn't hit my button in time.
No worries, man.
All good.
Drew and Logan, I appreciate you both for the $5 over on Venmo. Thank you, Drew and Logan. And hey, take it away. Why do you support Trump, my friend?
Honestly, I just, through my life so far, I've seen the failings over and over, the empty promises that we've been given. And he is the only person who was not a politician for his entire career coming up. If I had my way, we would fire every single person in Washington and just start over. But
I mean, I would also be okay with firing like 95% of them.
yeah, honest to goodness, my respect for the man comes from, if you look at, if he wanted to just go piss off to some island, he could have and not had, near all the horrible things, said about him. When you have what we seen during COVID, the relentless, I mean, he's the most vetted person in the world, hands down. When you have somebody who's been attacked so hard, has had, threats made against his family, his friends, I don't think anybody can refute that. There's been a lot of lawsuits brought against him politically, simply because, they were able to do it.
See, here's the thing. I think that you're setting forth a bad precedent. So you're bringing up all the court cases, all the negative PR, all of the headlines, all of the bad reporting, all of the attacks, all of the negative statements, all of the allegations, and you yield the conclusion from that. Well, that means that this guy must be it. He just wants to eradicate the deep state, and the deep state is launching these attacks. When in all reality, he's just a bad man. He's just a really damn bad man that shouldn't qualify for a job at your local McDonald's. And because he's now serving as our president, just about everyone in the world with a decent head on their shoulders wants you to know every single bad thing he's ever done, right? But now basically what you're telling me is if I ever want to run for president, I just got to go out there and do some of the most despicable bullshit known to mankind ever, be held accountable for it by the courts and the media, then just simply say that's the deep state attacking me. Then I'll be able to gain a cult-like following of millions and then win the presidency, fuck over the country, throw our constitution out the window, give a big middle finger to everybody but rich white men, and somehow still have the social support to justify a TikTok live with 16,000 people listening in about if he's a good president or not.
I'm not saying that I like the man. From some of the things that, there's a story about a black gentleman who Trump gave back in, I guess, the 80s, a loan to start his small business. Took time to help him to, get his business up and moving when the man couldn't get a loan. There's things like that happen. I've never heard anybody tell a story about, politicians that, went out of their own way to help, a singular person in need.
You just said to get a loan, right?
A lot of that is said.
Wait.
You
just said to get a loan.
As a huge group.
Wait, I'm just curious. You just said a loan, right?
I'm sorry?
You just said he helped somebody get a loan.
He gave them.
He gave them a loan, right?
Yeah.
Do you pay interests on loans?
He actually, when the man tried to pay the loan back at the end of the loan, he told him to keep that money, that it was his, he earned it, and he was proud of him. Is how the man told the story.
Okay, I mean, I'm not so sure of what you're telling us. Assuming that what you're telling us is true, I don't know. I don't think you'd be able to give us evidence of it. We'll assume it nonetheless. Why does this change? Like, this doesn't change anything, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, he gave a man a loan. This doesn't change that in the 90s he called all black people racist. He gave a man a loan. This doesn't change that when Obama was running for president, he basically told people not to vote for them because he was black. He gave a man a loan. This doesn't change that he was best buddies with Epstein. Epstein had a picture of them together on his desk, and he was sending Epstein letters with pictures of naked women in the statement, "May every new day be another wonderful secret." Sorry, gave a man a loan. This doesn't change that he's been held civilly liable for rape. Doesn't change anything. I'm sorry, man. I'm confused. And if the best thing you could tell me about Trump is that 40 years ago, this near billionaire gave somebody a loan for $100,000. We have a far way to go, my friend. Feel free to unmute.
I do not feel, I don't think that is, there's some other ones. This I watched in a video. It was an interview the man did. I'm not going to say that somebody is going to be, everybody does wrong. I mean, we're all sinners. We've all made mistakes.
Yeah, but we haven't all made the same mistakes, quote unquote, which is crazy to call them, that Donald Trump has, like raping someone or sexually exploiting teen girls.
And I hope that if it comes out that it's true, and I hope he gets the justice he deserves.
So his court has
I would
already
not-
determined that he's guilty of rape, and he's actually the one that admitted to sexually exploiting naked teen girls and grown adult women.
I have not seen that. I have not read it.
Listen.
And as soon as we get done with this, I'm absolutely going to.
Well, listen, man, I'll just go ahead and play you the clip right now. Here's him admitting to exactly what I just said. Take a listen.
Could be a conflict of interest, but it's the kind of thing you worry about later.
Oh, I see.
You tend to think about the conflict a little bit later on.
The question is, how can it not be construed?
No, I mean, some of these foreign girls, Mr. Trump, in my country, we say hello with vagina. And
well, you could also say, as the owner of the pageant, it's your obligation to do that.
So you have done that. Now,
I'll tell you the funniest is that I'll go backstage before a show.
Yes.
And everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else. And, no men are anywhere. And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. I'm inspecting. I want to make sure that
You're like
everything
a doctor.
is good.
You're there.
Yeah, the dress. Is everyone okay? They're standing there with no clothes. Is everybody okay? And you see these incredible looking women. And so I sort of get away with things like that.
Mike Sears.
On the Stern show, I don't know when that was.
2005.
I would have to hear all the context before that. The part that he said, that he sees these incredible looking women. I would have to say that if I walked into a room where there was unbelievable superstar models getting undressed, I would try to avert my eyes. But my goodness, I mean, to say that these aren't beautiful women, I think would be an insult.
Sometimes I find myself truly lost for words. And this is one of those scenarios. Like I did say before I rolled that clip that we're also talking about kids, right? Like, did you just admit to saying that if you saw like the naked body of like a kid beauty star, you'd be like, oh, they're so hot? Like, what? Dude, like not only is that sick, but like, why would you say that in front of like 16,000 people? Like it's sick. Like why would you say this sick shit on the internet permanently and in front of 16,000 people? Like, what? Dude. Bro, dude. They're teenagers?
There nowhere in that clip did I hear anybody speak of age. He said models. I automatically assumed that these are women of age. My God, what kind of animal would fucking do that to a child?
He owned Miss Teen USA, and we have had 5 or 6 of the contestants at Miss Teen USA say that he's done this to them. And point number 2, he also owned Miss USA and Miss Universe, where he also did this to women. However, it's not any better because although women could consent to it, they didn't. He unconsensually used his position of authority as the owner of the pageant to attempt to justify, quote unquote, walking into their changing rooms to look at them while they're undressed just to turn around and boast about how good they looked on the internet. Keep in mind, they're undressed to change in a space for them, not so Donald Trump could look at them. This, definitionally speaking, fulfills all necessary criteria for sexual exploitation, regardless if it happened to an adult woman or teen, right? So why would your response to this sexual exploitation, regardless if it happened to teens or adult women, be anything other than that's detestable and that's wrong? But why was your response, well, if I was in his shoes, it would be insulting to not say that
you are twisting my words.
While I was sexually
I said that if I walked into a room, my goodness, if I was walking through a building and I took a wrong turn, I am saying that, yes, There was beautiful women behind that door. Like I said originally, I would avert my eyes instantly out of respect. If
I'm
what you're saying
twisting,
truly happened,
I'm not twisting your words.
Because if what you're saying truly happened, that is gross, that is horrible, and I am going to dig into it because I do believe that is detestable. To use a position of power in such a way to exploit a woman, a child, that is disgusting.
I understand
absolutely.
Wait, but I've already provided you with more than enough evidence to demonstrate that it's true. That evidence being his own admission. Like, let's break it down. Let's go through this together.
Think about the conflict a little bit later on.
The question is, how
Hang
can
on
it
a
not
second.
be?
Hang on a second.
Yeah, for sure.
I am not just going to take this small audio clip and base my entire judgment of a man off a Stern interview audio clip.
Why not? When it's him
I
talking.
want to do due diligence and make sure that everything that is being said is 100% factual.
But who's
unfortunately
who's it being
details
said by?
get twisted so often.
Who is it being said by in this clip?
I do not know what the first part of this conversation was.
Let's listen to all the context. I've never played the full thing. Let's just listen to it all. It's 2 minutes long.
By the way, your daughter.
She's beautiful.
Can I say this? A piece of.
Yeah.
The last couple of years, I go out with somebody, and she's like 21, and she's talking about, what are you doing? And she's studying algebra. And,
So what?
And it's like, it was always embarrassing for me to walk in. It's too young. 30's like a perfect age.
Absolutely. She has enough life experience.
Until she's 35.
Too much life experience.
What is it at 35, Howard? It's called checkout time.
And you're probably, I would say, the greatest judge of beauty on this planet. In fact, I would create a TV show for you where all you did was just judge women.
Now, that may be the best idea of all.
It's a simple thing. It's a half hour, and we strip it out all over the
I would
country.
say I'm the all-time judge.
You own this pageant. You go over. You're meeting the girls. And that one of them comes up to you and says, "Mr. Trump, you're a very sexy man.
You're a beautiful man. You have fantastic hair.
Well, you're a powerful man, right? Right? You're a powerful man.
Right.
I want to sleep with you." Now, you're not the type that would say no.
I don't want to hurt their feelings.
Right. No, but I mean, you see a beautiful woman, you want to have that. You're a guy who likes to have everything, right?
Well, couldn't that be construed, however, as
conflict?
Yes.
Well, I don't see it as a conflict.
It could be a conflict of interest, but it's the kind of thing you worry about later.
Oh, I see.
You tend to think about the conflict a little bit later on.
The question is, how can it not be construed?
No, I mean, some of these foreign girls, Mr. Trump, in my country, we say hello with vagina. And
well, you could also say, as the owner of the pageant, it's your obligation to do that.
So you have done that. Now,
I'll tell you the funniest is that I'll go backstage before a show.
Yes.
And everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else. And, no men are anywhere. And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. I'm inspecting. I want to make sure that
you're like
everything is
doctor.
good.
You're there.
Yeah, the dress. Is everyone okay? They're standing there with no clothes. Is everybody okay? And you see these incredible-looking women. And so I sort of get away with things like that.
I gotta say, I've never listened to that whole clip before. That makes it significantly worse.
I did not hear age anywhere in there. Am I saying that I agree with what he did? No. I think that's, once again,
Wait, I gotta roll back the YouTube live. Right before I started playing that clip, you agreed that regardless if he did this to teen or women's, it would still be just as wrong. I'll play that right now. It's true that evidence being his own admission.
100%.
Like, let's break it down. Let's go through this together.
Think about the conflict a little bit.
True that evidence being his own admission. Like, yeah, for sure. You could finish a thought. I just wanted to clarify. Now you're saying, well, I didn't hear age anywhere in there. Well, before
because you attacked me
that regardless
and said that
of
I was
the age.
freaking talking about wanting to look at underage women, I was waiting to make sure that I didn't miss something. So I was definitely listening for it. Once again, I do believe that if you are in a pageant, in a space like that, no, there should be either a waiver saying that there is a male who is going to be coming through and making sure that everybody's outfits look right, whatever, what have you. But no, you should not be able to just walk into a space like that. I believe that's morally wrong.
Okay, so point number one, he wasn't making sure that their outfits look good because they didn't have outfits on.
He was inspecting their bodies. Yeah, that's gross.
He was looking at them. He was perving on them, right? And he did this at Miss Teen USA,
that's gross.
Miss USA, and Miss Universe. We've had teens testify that this happened to them, and we've had women at Miss USA and Miss Universe testify that this happened to them. Can you agree that regardless if this occurred to a teen or woman, that it was still sexual exploitation in both circumstances?
I would agree to that. But once again, like I said, I would want to go through any documented cases to make sure, that it wasn't money grabs trying to attack, a wealthy person. But am I saying that obviously right there, he said that he went into for that.
He said that he walked backstage unconsensually where no men were to look at them while they were undressed.
Yeah, so that part, I 100% no. I believe that's wrong, fundamentally wrong.
So okay. So now that you've agreed that Donald Trump has sexually exploited women or girls, or women and girls, how could you possibly support him as president?
This is going to sound terrible. I don't support the man, that behavior. I do believe Joe Biden did some very, very questionable things with children.
Bill Clinton would be a better example because yesterday we had a survivor of Epstein say that she was taken to Africa with Bill Clinton. And you know what my response to that is?
This is why I think that all politicians are crooked no-goods.
1 second. You know what my response to that would be about Bill? Fuck you, Bill. See you later. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
I'm never going to support you ever again. And guess what? Now you using that as a tool to equivocate and change to all politicians is false. I can name one politician that we know hasn't done any of this. Her name was Kamala Harris. And she ran against him. That's the
she
person
was
that you voted
accused
against.
of sucking off the governor of California
Okay.
to boost her
What the fuck?
status.
What governor?
Of California?
What's his name and when?
I would have to look it up. I do not know right off the rip.
Come on, bro. Dude, let me fill in the blanks for you. I know the MAGA arguments better than you do. It's not going to be the governor of California. It would be the mayor of San Francisco. And his name was Willie Brown. And the allegation is that she slept with Willie Brown to work her way up in politics to help get to the top. The refutation of this would be, by the time she got her first public office, Willie Brown had been out of the mayoral seat for 15 years. And you're not going to be able to convince me that her being in a relationship with Willie Brown 10 years before she ran for the day of San Fran got her that position, as I doubt many people in San Francisco knew Willie Brown's name. Like, for instance, what state do you live in?
Missouri.
Can you name 3 cities in Missouri?
Jeff City, St. Louis, Kansas City, Center, New London, Frankfurt.
Name the mayor of one of those cities.
Our last mayor. Oh gosh, what is
Name the mayor.
Sam Page.
Not last mayor, current mayor. Name one mayor. Wait, name one current mayor of any of those cities.
The last mayor of St. Louis County was
not
Sam Page. I believe he's the current one. My apologies. I believe he's the current one.
Sam Page. Let's see. Serving as the county executive of St. Louis County. Is a county executive the same thing as a mayor?
Nope, you are right. My mistake.
Okay. All right. So can you name the mayor?
I cannot.
All right, exactly. And I'm not going to lie. I couldn't name the mayor of where I live either. This isn't something to make you seem unintelligent. This is something to just make it clear that we don't fucking know who our mayors are. So how could her being in a relationship with an ex-mayor of San Francisco get her the 72 million votes required to be a senator of California or the 40 million votes required to be the AG of California? You know? While you're thinking about that, let me thank a couple people. Jane, thank you so much for the $10 over on Super Chat. I appreciate you for that love, Jane. As well as Jacob with the $10 saying, hey, Dean, did you see that Joseph Schnitt was caught on tape saying that the DOJ had been planning on redacting GOP names from the Epstein files? I did see that. Very interesting. Thank you for the love, you two. If you're watching and you'd like to donate to me or get a message across to the stream, because I try to read out all of the messages. Of course, I miss a couple. You can support me on Venmo or PayPal, which are found in the link tree in my bio. I'd also like to quickly thank Erica for the $20 over on Venmo. Show some love to Erica down below in that chat. Let's get 200. Erica W. W's, thank you. They say, dude, these callers have been on something lately. Must be the Maga Mobile 2G signals rotting their brains. You were holding it down and crushing them all. 21 must have given you some extra armor and weapons. Keep fighting disinformation. Erica, I'm gonna keep it frank. I'm a little bit dead inside after 2.5 hours of this. Something is going on today. Thank you, Erica. As well as Jacqueline. Thank you for the $25 donation on Venmo. They say, I love watching your live streams. They really help me keep updated with all the info that is coming out and knowing what is actual facts versus propaganda. Appreciate everything that you do. Keep it up. Thank you, you two. Show some love to Erica and Jacqueline down below in that chat, as well as Sarah for the 5. That is incredibly kind of you. Thank you, everyone. That is incredibly kind. Oh, and Jessica, this just came in. Jessica, thank you for the $10 donation on PayPal. I love you too, Jessica. Thank you. Hey, is there anything else that you want to go over before I move on to my next guest here?
Yeah, actually, when I originally the first time tried to come onto the stream, you were talking to a man, and it really is the whole reason I requested to come on. You were talking about his education level, that he was just a high school graduate, and then, spoke into, how much of a higher IQ you have. I've seen recently there has been a lot of push toward Trump supporters being uneducated, what have you. I feel like it's a really dishonest argument. For people who have not gone into, academia, there's a lot of us who have learned we acquired our education in shops and farm fields, on job sites, equipment, what have you. There is an education that's held by these people in the trades that...
You're on pause?
I'm sorry, you there?
Yeah.
Okay. Where'd I cut out?
There's an education that is held by the people in the trades.
Yeah. That, people in academia just seem to not understand and or appreciate. A lot of us have more invested in our trade or in our education than college would have ever cost. And without these people, every day, the computers we have, the electric we enjoy, the water that runs to the house, it doesn't exist.
I never said anything about formal education. I'm a college dropout. And I think I've been able to educate myself significantly more out of college than I would have been educated in college just through my own research. When I call somebody uneducated, especially in reference to that guest that you're saying, I only called him uneducated because he said I had a small pee-pee, by the way. Just going back and forth a little bit. But I'm not saying that he's uneducated because he didn't go to college. I'm saying that he's uneducated because he hasn't put time, energy, effort, or research into any form, formal or informal education, and then use either this lack of knowledge or willful ignorance to justify a support for the evil and a disdain for things that will actually make this country better.
Okay. So I guess, once again, when I first heard it, I did not hear all the context leading up to that conversation with him. I do remember him saying something about you having low T, and I was like, well, that devolved quickly.
Yeah, but no,
so
like I said,
there has been
I don't
some
shit on people
that,
without
I've
formal
talked
education.
to, unfortunately, back and forth with, writing. I don't write with, great grammar. I'm not going to pretend to be some type of linguist. Once again, my education came from somewhere else. But can you agree that education or intelligence isn't 100% based out of the schooling that you get, from going to college?
Well, I'll agree with the first step by saying that education isn't only based out of formal education. Like, for instance, I got a 2.8 GPA in high school and I dropped out of college, and I think I'm pretty damn educated. But see, what you people on the right typically do with this conclusion is then to turn around and stigmatize formal education, when on average, formal education produces significantly better outcomes than the lack thereof. I'm going to move on to the next guest, though. You have a good rest of your day. Let's go to get that next Trump supporter loaded up into the live. Hop in that queue if you're MAGA. We'll happily get you up here. We'll happily get you up here. We got the next guest loading in right now. We got Disneyland Kate connecting. As well as, hey, Nico, thank you so much for the $10 over on PayPal. I appreciate you for that love, Nico. That is incredibly kind of you. Nico says, I'm 24, but supported Trump through his first election and even voted for him in his second. I can admit I was blinded by friends and family and social media, and my girlfriend has had a huge influence on me, and I'm glad to say I voted for Harris in this past election. I'm really proud of you, Nico. This is the space for you to be. I mean, just like look at the type of person that you'd be today if you didn't change the way that you think. Look at these guests and say, that would be me if I didn't wake up, and be damn proud of yourself for waking up. As well as Michaela, thank you for the $5 over on Venmo. That is kind of you, Michaela. Michaela says, I watch your live streams every day and I love them. Thank you, Michaela. Then Erica with the $5 as well, saying, I dropped out of high school. I'm in construction and I still make time to educate myself about what's going on. Preach, Erica. Hey, welcome in. Do you support Trump? Disneyland Kate, are you here? Oh, there she is. Hi, do you support Trump? I guess not. Goodbye, Disneyland Kate. We are going to go ahead and move on to that next guest. If you want to support me, you can find my Venmo, my PayPal, and the link tree in that bio. Welcome in. Are you MAGA?
Yes, sir.
All right. Why do you support the worst president of your goddamn life? Like, truly the most insufferable...
Oh, that goes to Joe Biden.
Name one bad policy he passed.
Inflation Reduction Act, which wasn't an inflation policy bill, it was a climate bill.
Why was the Inflation Reduction Act bad?
So it was a climate bill. It was a bunch of climate regulation bullshit.
Wait, you're saying the fact that the Inflation Reduction Act made a multi-million-dollar investment into the R&D of renewable energy resources, while also making a multi-million-dollar investment into non-renewable energy resources, while also being deficit reducing over the lifespan of the bill, made it a bad bill?
The environmental bullshit is what's wrong with that bill.
Dude, okay, how old are you?
20.
What year are you born in?
2004.
What month?
December.
Okay. And why is making an investment into renewable energy resources a bad thing? Especially when that investment will pay itself off plus some in 10 years. It was
Because
literally
this country
deficit
is-
reducing. Like, I want to make that one clear. It literally reduces the debt.
Yes, he also put a bunch of regulations on farmers.
So now you're saying that it has nothing to do with the investment into renewable energy resources and more to do with
It's all the
regulations introduced in the
regulations.
bill.
Yes, regulations.
So what
They
what
fuck
regulations
farmers
were
over.
what regulations were introduced under the Inflation Reduction Act that were bad?
Emission controls.
Emission
All that
controls. Which
bullshit.
specific ones? Oh, you're the same kid.
I know-
You're the same Fuentes supporter.
Okay, and?
Your bio says Jesus is my
kicked me.
savior. Hey, quickly, what race was Jesus?
Jesus was, I think, Arab.
Oh, wow. So you're saying the only perfect human who's ever lived wasn't white?
I mean, who gives a shit about Jesus' race, first off?
Well, I'm just
Jesus.
saying. You told us that you were a Nick Fuentes supporter. Total Nazi, white nationalist. Now, you as a Nick
Not a
Fuentes
white
supporter,
nationalist.
do you affirm that propositionally speaking, it is true that the only perfect human that has ever lived was not white?
I don't know if he was white. I don't know if he was black. I don't really care. He's Jesus. That's all that matters.
Oh, geez. And you also get your first repost saying that GAY marriage is not real?
Yes, because I'm a hardcore Christian and it is an abomination in the eyes of God. Yes.
Do you think that
It's
being
not-
we got to spell it out for TikTok TOS. So do you think so? Where in the Bible does it say that?
Leviticus, Romans,
Leviticus.
all kinds of places.
Wait. So you think that Leviticus is a reliable source for detailing what the moral truths of God are or are not?
It falls under adultery.
So, well, actually, no. In Leviticus, we see verse 22:11 and 13:21. I believe it's been a while, where it literally does say that it's an abomination. And you're saying that the book of Leviticus is accurate in describing the moral law of God, right?
That it's an abomination? Yes.
Okay, so what does Leviticus 25 verses 44 through 46 say?
I don't know exactly what it says. I know.
Oh, I do. I read the Bible, unlike you. It says that slavery is okay. More specifically, it says that your male and female slaves may come from the nations around you, and you may own them as property, and you may also bequeath them as inherited property to your children. So my question to you is, if you think that the book of Leviticus is true and accurate today, right, because that's what you're using to draw the moral conclusion today that it's wrong to be gay, do you also therefore think it's okay to own slaves?
I mean, honestly, it depends on the context. There's
the context of owning other humans as property.
Indentured servitude.
Oh well, this wasn't indentured servitude. It was chattel slavery. Because once again, as I just described, verses 44 through 46 of Leviticus 25 say property for life. That is chattel slavery, not indentured servitude. Indentured servitude would be a servant paying off a debt, not being property for life that can be inherited and bequeathed to your children once you die.
Honestly, no.
What's that?
I believe in what the Bible says, but that might have just been Old Testament rules.
Oh, well, exactly. But now you're saying that was just Old Testament rules that we no longer follow because it is the case that Jesus fulfilled the Old Testament. You just mentioned that same Old Testament rule in Leviticus. Well, 1 second. You just said that same Old Testament rule in Leviticus in reference to gay individuals in Leviticus 23 and 11 makes it wrong to be gay today. So why doesn't Leviticus 25 make it okay to own a slave today? See, you can't cherry pick like this, my friend. You can't say that some parts of Leviticus don't apply today, meanwhile others do.
It doesn't say that not doing that is an abomination to Christ. It just says
that doing it is okay. It says that owning slaves is morally permissible. Oh, okay. Well, if these laws only apply back then it was only wrong to be gay back then.
No, because they said it's an abomination in the eyes of God.
Wait. Why would God create something? I have a question. Why would God create something that's an abomination? I thought that God was a perfect creator.
He didn't create that. Satan created that.
Oh, he didn't create that. Okay. Well, didn't God design you in your mother's womb? And if God designed you in your mother's womb, and we know that being gay is the direct material consequence, not of conscious decision, but rather of hard-coded biological facts, such as associations along the XQ23 chromosome, such as associations with larger interior commissures in the context of your neuroanatomy, or varying traits of the AI-NH3 subsection of your hypothalamus, and this was hard-coded into you in your neonatal development by God per the Bible, God does make gay people gay.
No, he doesn't. That's temptations from Satan that a lot of people sadly lean into.
Well, now you're starting a conversation that is equivocating what is true biologically speaking between what is true in an attempted state of conscious free will. Okay, and no, being gay is not a choice. It's not something that
it is a choice. You could either not act on that attraction, or you could act on it.
Really? So can you choose to be attracted to me right now?
No, because I don't.
But I thought it was a choice.
It's a choice for the ones that aren't straight. Yes.
Oh,
you can either follow the.
Wait. It's a choice for the people that aren't straight. Wait, but definitionally speaking, if you're not straight, then you're what?
You could be bi. You never know.
Okay, but in the same way that you didn't choose,
love is.
And in the same way that you didn't choose to be straight, they didn't choose to be bi or gay. All right, and I gave you the science to back this up.
No, I have sinful nature. I have temptations in other ways. People have different temptations.
Wait.
Sometimes given to them. I used to struggle with corn addiction.
I have a question. Mine. Can your free will change your chromosomal structure? Can your conscious decision change your chromosomal structure?
I'll have to ask the Lord that when I'm up there.
No, you actually can. And we already know that because of science on Earth. So why do we see an association alongside the XQ23 chromosome in gay men that we don't see in straight men?
What?
Why do we see an association in the XQ23 chromosome in GAY men that we don't see in straight men? Right? If it's all about conscious decision and giving in to temptation, then why do we see hard-coded biological differences?
I don't know. Ask the Lord.
Oh, you don't know? Ask the Lord? Okay, well, guess what? Your lack of a response here makes it clear that you're wrong because it's unexplainable, right? It is not a conscious decision, and the evidence for this is the fact that there's biological associations that underpin the attractions. Also, not to mention, my friend, there's more than just the association on the XQ23 chromosome. So you have a nerve lining between the hemispheres of your brain. It's called the anterior commissure, all right? The anterior commissure is larger in gay men than it is in straight men. Same thing with varying traits of the AI NH3 subsection of the hypothalamus and dendritic density inside of it, and levels of certain neurohormones, such as FSH. These are all biological facts of your being that were hard-coded into you when you were growing in your mother's uterus.
Yes. But you can also choose to not follow those temptations.
Well,
push it deep down.
Remember, what you're saying here is you're just saying that you could choose to push the attraction deep down. Well, you understand that first and foremost, that is incredibly homophobic. We'll get around to that. But second of all, that temptation or attraction is what makes you GAY. And you said that being GAY in of itself is wrong and an abomination.
It's an abomination in the eyes of God, yes.
So then if that temptation, if those attractions are an abomination, and those attractions are a direct material result of the biological fact of the being of gay people, and the biological being of gay people was designed by God, it means that God designed them to have those attractions. So are you now saying that you are an anti-Christian heretic that does not think that God is perfect because God made a creation that is of an abomination?
God is perfect. Free will is not.
Well, remember, we're not talking about the free will and decisions. We're talking about the attractions that you can't choose that are consequential of your material being that God designed, meaning that he designed you to possess this particular biology, which gives you these attractions.
What you're describing is free will. You're describing free will.
Once again, I'm not describing free will. I'm literally...
You're describing free will and sinful nature is what you're describing.
I'm not describing free will. I'm literally describing how you are biologically designed. I didn't freely choose to have blue eyes. I didn't freely choose to have blonde hair. I didn't freely choose to be 5'9". I didn't freely choose to have a 9.5 shoe size. Just like gay people didn't freely choose to have a larger anterior commissure on average, didn't freely choose to have associations along the XQ23 chromosome, and didn't choose to have varying traits of the AI NH3 subsection of the hypothalamus, you donut. Science and math is so hard for these people. It's so hard. Science is impossible. Science is just so impossible. Science is so impossible. Hey, Rebecca, thank you so much for the $15 over on Venmo, saying even if Kamala Harris was a mayor, it still didn't make her a child predator. Yep, thank you for the $15, Rebecca, referencing a conversation from earlier. As well as, hey, Jenny, thank you so much for the $50 donation over on Venmo, Jenny. That is so incredibly kind of you. Jenny, with the $50 says to tell the quote-unquote hardcore Christian to actually read. Yeah, dude, I swear to God, if they started reading, their worldview would be so shaken up. Thank you for the $50, Jenny. That is so kind of you. Let's get 500 Jenny W's down below in that comment section right now. As well as Haley with a 5 and Tara with a 5 over on Venmo, and then Lillian with a $3 as well. Thank you so much. Eduardo with a $10 on PayPal says, I wish I had 10% of your patience. At this point, it's not even patience. It's just like, what's a better word? I'm so desensitized to, like, I'm just so desensitized to what the guests say, what they'll say about me, what they'll say to me. Unfortunately, that's true. As well as Mandy with a $5 on PayPal, Maya with a 6, and Jordan with a 7. Appreciate you guys so much for the love. Show some love to all of our donors down below. I'd also like to quickly thank Garrett for the $10 over on Super Chat. Show some love to Garrett down below, everybody. Okay, we have an hour left on the stream, my friends. Now, for the last hour here, unfortunately... Ooh, sorry, I had to hit a quick stretch there. We do have to hit a restart. Now, the reason why we got to hit a restart is because TikTok's terms of service are pretty restrictive. And they've flagged a handful of things that I've said, that the guests have said throughout the day. If we want to keep the account and not lose access to our ability to get guests up here, we got to restart the live. So unfortunately, we're going to be doing that right now. I do have a good set of instructions for y'all on how to come back, though. First and foremost, hit that follow button. It'll be like right there. If that button is red, hit it, make it go like white or whatever it is. Following me will allow me to pop up on your following list when we restart the live. Keep in mind the restarts take like 10 seconds. So do that now. I would also like to describe a quicker way to come back after the restart. So once I end the live, this screen will pop up on your phone. If you hit my profile picture right there, go boop, you will then be directed to my account page. Once you're on my account page, count to 10, like literally count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Refresh by swiping down on my videos, and then click back into my profile picture, and you'll be on the new live because it only takes us 4 seconds to restart. I would like to aim for like 10,000 of you guys to come back. That'd be really cool, and hopefully I'll see us soon. We're going to go ahead and hit that restart right now.